Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Welcome back to this YouTube channel on all things related to narcissism, the questions you have about narcissism, and even the issues that come up in narcissistic relationships. So I'm going to open with a question, which is, doesn't it seem like narcissists make money than the rest of us? Yeah, it's because they do. And please come subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Would love to have you. Comments are worth the price of admission, which is nothing. So let's answer this question. Why the heck do these narcissists seem to have more money than the rest of us? Life is full of many injustices, big and small, and this is one of many. But in the macro, even the few research studies I found suggest that people who have narcissistic personalities do tend to make more money. It's not just luck. It's not life being unfair. There's just more to it than that. For people with narcissistic personalities, power, dominance, and ego are what get them up in the morning and keep them going all day. It's a singular motivation for them. And in most of the world, I hate to say it, most of the world, the quickest path forward to money is power and ego, and vice versa. The quickest power to power and ego is money. Now, healthy people don't derive their sole identity from money. Most of us need more of it, but we have limits on what we're willing to do for it. We may, most of us, not be willing to trade our souls, not betray people in a big way, to break rules or laws in a way to get it. We may even do jobs we don't love or not want to work as hard as we do, but we do it to pay the bills. But a healthy person derives their identity from meaning, purpose, relationships, activities that we feel good about, doing things that represent what we stand for. And in that way, we have people out there who may not make lots of money, but they do tremendously meaningful work. They have loving friends and family and get their identity from who they are rather than what they are. But alas, those narcissists, their identities derive solely from their material egos, from a sense of power, from validation. And their fear, their greatest fear, is that their shame will get activated. And they are afraid of the things that pluck their insecurities. And money makes one hell of a psychological fortress. And so they create these seemingly enviable lifestyles and protect themselves and whiz around in fast cars and live in tricked out homes and may have fancy jobs, or at least pretend like they have fancy jobs, and they might have fancy shoes or fancy watches or fancy handbags. Wealthy narcissists will use that money to lord over other people. They use it to keep their partners around, to manipulate family members, and to control their employees. It really is a handy device for narcissists who derive a lot of identity from controlling other people and inducing envy in them. But to have it, they gotta be able to make it. And here is where the narcissistic personality's entitlement, grandiosity, on-again, off-again relationship with ethics, their tendency to play it fast and loose with the truth, their lack of empathy, and little regard for how their choices affect other people. That's how they make it. People higher in narcissism are more competitive, more ambitious, more concerned with winning, more extroverted, more desirous of leadership. So when you put all of that together and shake it all up, and given that money is the ultimate narcissistic supply, you have in a narcissist a person who is willing to do whatever it takes to make money. They will burn bridges, hurt colleagues, betray friends and family, lie, cheat, ignore rules, rationalize shady choices, and power to the front of the line. In the United States, at least, we tend to forgive people who broke the rules to get to the top, as long as they get to the top. Now, sadly, we are a culture that reveres very wealthy people. Now, listen, I know that not all people with money are bad people. Some people have the good luck of inheriting it, and they're aware of their blessings and may even do some really good things with it. Some people legit earn their money, and they're good people. Some people win it. But unfortunately, the way money is set up in our culture, a lot of people who have a lot of it don't play by the rules. The willingness within the narcissistic personality to skirt the rules and feel entitled to break those rules can often set them up to do quite well in business or in other fields. For many of us, doing the right thing means that we do leave money on the table. We play by the rules, we pay our taxes, we help other people out. That's not exactly a fast track to getting rich or perhaps even saving a nest egg. And it's not just money. In some fields, people can really succeed and become the boss even if they don't make a lot of money. Some fields just don't pay a lot. But they may get promotions, they might get a bigger title, and those promotions and title can come with power. I'm always struck by how many people are more than qualified to be the leader, but are pretty content with what they're doing, don't feel that they need the adulation or the power, or frankly, the headaches. I've seen it happen more times than I can count. Sort of people getting ahead on the basis of Machiavellianism, that sort of political savvy, but not necessarily on the basis of skill or ability. Again, that narcissistic drive to win and get narcissistic supply can lead to a completely blind pursuit to succeed and typically make money. Listen, ambition is not a bad thing. I think it's wonderful to have goals, to pursue them passionately, and to see them through. That's all good. What's not good, it's consistently harming other people in their pursuit and feeling entitled to do what you need to get ahead, and hurt anyone in the process. And yet, the pillars of the narcissistic personality are a setup to do just this. And from there, we get the unempathic bosses, the billionaires and robber barons that have made this world a big, fat mess. Now, sadly, many people really get hurt by this. So let's just say even we're talking about trying to find a mentor. What do we look for in a mentor, right? We look for a person who has succeeded in their field. It isn't often that a person chooses their mentor on the basis of saying, hey, this person has great work-life balance and they've slowed their career down and they make a lot of compromises and they play really nice. I've actually chosen my mentors on this basis, like really chosen some sweet people. Smartest thing I've ever done. And in this way, though, what gets problematic is a lot of people do choose narcissists to be their mentors. They can really be harmful and destructive mentors because you wanted someone at the top of your game to be your mentor. It sucks because money is such a source of power in this world. And it is a tool that allows many people with narcissistic personalities to get away with just about anything. That impunity can continue to enable these patterns in the very people that many other people are trying to emulate, which again is the mess we're in our world right now. Research has consistently shown that people who are narcissistic, research has shown that narcissism is overrepresented in CEOs, celebrities, athletes, and people who pursue leadership are actually more likely to have narcissistic traits than those who don't. Billionaires are more likely to have these qualities, as are politicians. And we see narcissism in doctors, lawyers, even religious leaders, people who are supposed to be shepherding their flock, priests, pastors, rabbis, you name it. Many people think, I can't be right? Really, narcissism helps people succeed? Yeah, it does. I remember years ago, an undergraduate in one of my classes approached me after class, after I had actually taught part of a unit on narcissism. At the time, he was taking night classes as he pursued a career by day. And he was a hardworking guy. And he said, Doc, after hearing you talk about narcissism today, it sure seems like it would help my career. Can I come to your office hours or set up a meeting with you so you can teach me? I was like, I smiled for a moment, thinking it could be an interesting side hustle for me. How to teach people to channel their inner narcissist and become rich. But nah, he seemed sort of like a sweet kid, and I don't know. I never had him in a class again, so who knows if he's ever going to achieve the success he wanted. I was reminded, though, that in my career at least, I would rather protect people from patterns such as narcissism or help them heal, rather than to practice the dark art of channeling their narcissism. So for all of you out there who are saying, it seems like the narcissists are all making a lot of money, you're probably right. The qualities associated with narcissism, sadly, can often be associated with egocentrism, the willingness to put one's needs first, and making sure that they get not only the biggest piece of the pie, but they take that biggest piece of the pie out of the middle. And that's why. And then you got to ask yourself, what are the trade-offs you'd be willing to make for that? You might think you can, but then that authentic part of you kicks in and says, nah, I can't do this. And if it means I make a little bit less, at least maybe, I hope, I'll sleep a little bit better at night. But unfortunately for the narcissists who do get financially successful, that financial success becomes one more tool with which they can bully and control other people. And the other risky bit is because many times people choose partners on the basis of their financial or career success. It's in this way that more than a few people have gotten roped into marriages or long-term relationships with narcissists who've made a lot of money. And then it can yield, you start to realize at the time it might seem nice to have all that money and advantage and gifts and lovely places to live. But over time you'd be like, listen, I'd rather live in a box than be living with this person anymore. And if you grew up with a financially successful narcissist, you could easily see how toxic that money would become in the family system. It would become a way of showing love. It would be withheld as a way to punish. And the narcissist at the core of it, the one with all the money, really is able to run that family from a bully pulpit, using the money as, in essence, a bunch of strings to pull the puppets that they call the people in their family. So if you have any thoughts on that, why narcissists are financially successful, I'm sure I missed some points. Drop them in the comments. Would love to hear your thoughts on this, because I'm sure you've seen this trend too. Thanks again.